I'm standing here with James from Ware, and you were telling me about a concern you have related to the drug war. Tell me about that.
Well, yes, the drug war has involved some serious crimes involving international smuggling of cocaine that has reached the highest offices of our land. And this, frankly and unfortunately, is not new news. This has been around for decades now, but nothing has been done about it. Specifically, going back to the Iran-Contra controversy, testimony given by Colonel Oliver North on the floor of the House of Representatives intimated that he had involvement with smuggling of cocaine in order to pay for the arms going to the Contras. Little tidbits leaked out. Some of the major testimony was suppressed, but it has come out later and from a number of sources. So we have a number of very good sources, and if the mainstream media were reporting this, you would be watching the trials of Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr. today. The sources, the most compelling source is a man named Chip Tatum, who worked for the U.S. government. He was an undercover agent and Special Forces operative during the Vietnam War. His service continued, his clandestine service continued for some time, and he has a compelling series found on YouTube called the Chip Tatum Chronicles. He has this in writing called the Chip Tatum Chronicles. His interviews on YouTube cover 14 segments where he is interviewed by former FBI agent Ted Gunderson.
Okay, here's my problem right off the bat is that, and a lot of people are going to look at this, okay, this is a lot of complicated information. Where do people go to just type 3-4 words into the internet to get somewhere that will convince them that what you're saying is accurate?
Well, if you're going to YouTube to see whatever it is you want to see on YouTube, and you just type in Chip Tatum, T-A-T-U-M, it will take you right there.
And will it take you to sources that take people to sources that they trust, or just more conspiracy sources?
Well, you will have to judge for yourself whether you find Mr. Tatum's testimony believable and whether you find his interviewer, the former FBI man, believable. And since it is long, I will point you towards the episodes that have the most damning information, episodes 6 and 7 out of the 14-segment series. But that's only one source. There are many sources. A DEA agent wrote a book about it called Powder Burns that came out in 2000. Author's name is Celerino. That was Celerino Castillo III, and he's documented all of it. A series of magazines called Prevailing Winds, edited by the actor Ed Asner, came out. A whole series of stories. That's another good source. Article written by Preston Pete called Inside the Octopus, which starts with one of the main actors, Barry Seal. His story goes all the way back to 1954, where he is recruited into the CIA along with Lee Harvey Oswald. All of these sources all point to the same conclusion. This is not new information. There's even a much more recent story where in 2005 a CIA plane used for the secret renditions crashed in Mexico carrying 4 tons of cocaine. And from the tail number of the plane, it was known to be a CIA aircraft. You can also find that reference on YouTube. So there were just all of these information sources. There are just too many to ignore. No, you will not hear Tom Brokaw or Anderson Cooper telling you these stories, but the information is out there, and it's quite compelling.
What would you say is some way, I mean, obviously we've all got grievances with the federal government. The drug war is one of them. Suspicions that they are involved in it, that's one concern. Is there a way that those of us in the liberty movement can come to some kind of a rapprochement or a win-win solution with some of the people who are in the government who've been doing this?
It seems very difficult to me, since they have benefited in more ways than one from this massive level of corruption. And to add to the hypocrisy, they are turning around and saying we are against drugs and we are waging the drug war internally against the people of the United States, when they themselves have been responsible at the highest levels for bringing the stuff in.
Are there any mediators that you've ever heard of anywhere in the world, or any brokers you think that could work out a deal that would be to the satisfaction of both sides in this controversy?
Frankly, no, because the perpetrators are at such a high level, and they depend on being kept protected by the powers that be. If by chance we were to get a real reformer into the White House, and who appointed a real reformer as Attorney General, and now I mean, remember what happened to John F. Kennedy? But then things might get interesting. That might be the only way.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I can think of, in terms of mutually acceptable solutions, is the fact that I can't think of very many. So the one that does come up is the idea of some kind of person outside of both organizations. Somebody's not in the liberty movement, not in the government, and can make some kind of a mediated agreement, the same way that they made an agreement between Peru and Ecuador, and there was a war there. Some outside mediator came in, and they declared the war zone to be a national park, and apparently that worked out okay. But anyway, sometimes it takes an outsider with creative ideas to get two competing organizations to get along. So anyway, that's just a thought.